Hi there, beautiful souls. It's me, Marav, and I'm here today to talk to you about the intersection between spirituality and science. So we know that for a long time, the ancient cultures used to talk about these things that were the energy centers of the body. Now, all through time, these cultures existed that talked about, the chakras, or in Kabbalah it was the sphirot. And it was always this understanding that when we balance the human body, that's, the microcosm and the macrocosm were an intersection, so as above, so below. And so our human bodies were just a reflection, we're just a microcosm of the macrocosm. And that when we bring those into balance, the feminine and the masculine between us, today science calls those the endocrinal glands, and we really do have at every one of those centers in our body a way of having the sort of left side of the body or the masculine compete with the right side of the body, the right side of the body, the masculine, the left side, the feminine, and kind of flips above the heart. That we really have this way of understanding that our bodies actually are able to balance themselves, to bring ourselves into balance. And there's an ancient prophecy, the Sophia prophecy. All the ancient cultures talked about that humanity is built on the two sides of the bird, the masculine side and the feminine side. And for the longest time we've had that the feminine side has been suppressed, has been not acknowledged, has been sort of like atrophying, while the masculine side keeps getting stronger and stronger, but it's getting tired out. It's spinning us in circles because it can only fly with one arm. And so for the longest time, it was known, it was prophesized that there would be a time, some people call it the age of Aquarius, that's sort of an astrological term, and then also in the ancients they called it the Sophia prophecy, or the time of Sophia. And we do know that this is coming up very, very shortly. Some people would say that we've even started within the dawn of it. But we do know that what's happening is that the feminine is coming in, that feminine wing of the bird is becoming much stronger so that the two arms can flow together. One of the best books I ever read about this is called The Alphabet versus the Goddess by Leonard Shlain. And Leonard Shlain was a really intelligent and interesting guy. He was a neuroscientist, and hello, lovely lady, hello. He was a neuroscientist, and one day when he was performing an operation on a patient, he had that infinitesimal moment that he just was in sudden flow, and he had this realization as he was looking at the brain that in fact we have been honoring for millennia now this thing called the alphabet, or linear progression, or linear thought. So cause and effect, logical sequencing, and that to the price of what he called was the feminine brain, or the goddess brain, which was that brain that is able to connect on a nurturing, on a storytelling, on a sensual level, and that the two will meet at one point. So he called those the goddess, the alphabet versus the goddess. And we do know, I have to have a little sip here, I swear, it's just water. We do know that within the brain, we have strengthened the muscles that become logical sequencing, that becomes cause and effect, that becomes linear thought. And therefore the atrophied part, the part of our brain that doesn't connect with those around us, doesn't nurture, doesn't tend and befriend, that hasn't been honored in our culture. So of course, survival of the fittest, from a DNA perspective, we start strengthening the things that make us work the best in our society. And now it's time to shift that and to bring an equal balance between the alphabet, or linear thought, and direct, to the feminine, so the nurturing, the circular, the sensual. And that time is coming into, as all the ancient prophecies had promised, it is coming into fruition as we are witnessing. It's a very cool time to be alive. And it is just, watch and see. The next 20 years are going to look nothing like the last 20 years. And that could be a really, really good thing, or it could be a bad thing. And it depends what we're going to do with that. So I look forward to sharing this journey with you. I'll be back next Friday. I want to start broadcasting and kind of sharing with you every Friday and at 1234 at 12:34 every Friday. And so I'm going to hold that and hold you in my intention for that. And see you next week, beautiful souls.